One of the things that we like to do in Spatial is to generate maps, because we really think maps are unique in the sense that you can communicate a lot of information with them, and they can be used in ways that allow us to scale analysis and to look at very large landscapes and what's going on within these landscapes. In addition to that, it's really important that the maps that we generate are accurate, because if we're going to do something like what you see behind me here, where we generated some maps for Makueni County here in Kenya, these are at a resolution, at a level of accuracy or granularity that is down to the farmer's field. So if we're not accurate in terms of our maps, then the recommendations we're giving farmers about management, about changing their management perhaps, or about the changes we're seeing will not be meaningful. They'll basically not be helpful. So this is also an important aspect of this. Another important thing with the maps that we generate is that it allows us to do these types of assessments across multiple indicators at the same scale. So you can look at, for example, soil organic carbon over here, soil pH, soil erosion, tree cover, the diversity of the trees, etc., etc. So you can start overlaying all these different mapping layers, and then it gives you deep insights into what's happening on the ground, and it allows us to target our interventions better, to track and monitor change over time. Some examples of maps include things like soil organic carbon. So what you see here is Makueni County in Kenya, and the brown colors represent areas where we have higher organic carbon, while the yellow colors represent low organic carbon. So you can see there's a lot of variation. We have the Chulu Hills over here, for example, with higher carbon, and then lower carbon up here towards Masongoleni and these areas. So this information we can take back to farmers and give them recommendations about management and tell them something about the state of their land, basically. Over here we have a map of soil pH for the same area, same spatial resolution, and where the red represent more acid soils and the blue represents more alkaline soils. So again, this is information that one can take back to farmers and then combine it with other types of information to give them advice in terms of management. This is just one example from one county in Kenya, but this is the type of analysis that we can do across the whole country of Kenya or across multiple countries or continents. So we've created these types of maps for all of Africa, for example, in the context of restoration projects across very large areas, and not just one map at a time, but also multiple maps over time. So that you can look at, for example, when you start a project, what was the state of the land at that stage, and then look at the end of the project, how have things changed over the project period.